Reference of the lamps that I refinished. This is them. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm Allie if you're new here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and tuning into today. As you can see from the title, we are doing a full DIY. If you are someone that likes antiqued, vintage, more Mediterranean inspired pottery, honey, this video is for you, so stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. If you've got like a vase, a pot, a jar, something laying around the house that you're kind of wanting to maybe breathe some new life into it and repurpose it in your space because you're sick of the color or the finish, this is definitely one you don't want to miss. All you really need are a few different things from either the home improvement or craft store and just a tiny bit of patience. You're gonna love this one. It was so fun. I've done a few different DIYs like this on different pieces around the house. You can actually see one, this lamp behind me. But I hope you like it. Please leave me a comment if you try this out. I would love to hear from you. I love all feedback. I have loved the comments that y'all have been recently leaving me on my videos. It has been so sweet to really get to interact with you guys. But without further ado, if you like this video, please hit that like button, click subscribe, and let's get into it. Here is my little workstation set up. Got my massive vase here to go. I've got the mastic here ready. I'm sure you can also use clay or, you know, like hobby clay that you can get at Hobby Lobby or Michael's to do this as well. But this is just what we happen to use and we like it. So I also just wet a sponge. Essentially, you're just needing to cover the whole surface of your pot, whatever you're using, whatever vessel, jar you've got. You're gonna cover it in your clay or your mastic. And I would do, depending on if you've got like a ton of texture on your vessel and you're trying to cover that up, I would put a pretty thick coat to smooth it out. If you're just trying to add a layer of texture, you don't have to make it very thick depending on what you're trying to do. And you can do, like, you can use different tools to create texture and etching. You can use like what you use to patch holes in the walls and stuff like that. I can't think of that tool's name, but you can use those to like create different textures and patterns and all that on your vessel. I forgot gloves, so step one, get your gloves. Dry for a little bit, and when it's fully dry and crispy, crunchy, we're gonna go in maybe with one more layer of mastic, and then we'll get into the color palette. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. I'm gonna let this dry out and cure, if you will, and I'm gonna have a snack break. So I was supposed to finish putting on the second layer of mastic. Yeah, that did not happen. Clearly, she's still in her state after that first coat. It's nice and dry. Hunter and I ended up watching something on the couch for a little bit, and then we're really hungry early for dinner yesterday, and so we ended up going to dinner, and then, you know, had a glass of wine. And something about me is just that I cannot get anything done after I've had a drink, even if it's just a beer, a glass of wine, a cocktail. Like, the moment I have a drink, there is nothing getting accomplished after that, which is why I don't really day drink, have cocktails at lunchtime, like anything like that, because I am not productive. I'm kind of useless afterwards. All right, round 2. Let's go. Okay. Okay, so I finished layers I want to do of texturizing and mastic. So I flipped it over, and now I'm starting to do the top of the vase, because you don't want something that you don't do the top of it, because then it doesn't look legit and it looks like whoever made it forgot to do the top of it, which is what you see all the time when you put whatever plant in it. So I try to make it look kind of rough, and you also go inside. I don't know if you can see that, but you go in the inner rim of the jar as well, so that it goes all the way into it, so it's seamless essentially. I'm just gonna go and like mess up the sides, because I really don't want it to be like perfectly smooth. Like I don't, for whatever reason, I just want to add a bunch of texture. And this is already partially dried. I don't know, I personally think it adds a bit of like a patinaed look to make it look like that versus really super smooth. So I'm just gonna go in and rough it up a bit. You could take the sponge to this, you could take like a spatula, a spackling tool, which is what I was trying to think of yesterday and I couldn't remember the name of it. Honestly, it makes me feel like a kid doing this. Honestly, kind of like a therapeutic thing, because you're not doing anything inside the lines, you're not doing anything perfectly. All right, well, this is what it looks like right now. Hi, Ruby. And for any little bald spots that might need some attention, we'll get to those. But yeah, really like the texture. I did some smoothing. I wanted to give you guys a reference of the lamps that I refinished. This is them. I will say I'm pretty proud of myself. I think they look really good. I think they look, in my opinion, kind of store-bought, like something you'd buy from like the Studio McGee line at Target, or something really expensive and designer. Y'all, these lamps were literally $5.50 a piece at a thrift store, and they're this like metal, you can kind of see like this ugly 80s brass. The whole thing was that color, or an either like hunter green or an ugly brown. And I just added all this texture, and I did the dirt method. Like you can see all of this texture in it here. It looks so freaking good. I even sealed it with a sealer at the very end. I'm just trying to give you like a really good look at all of the yummy texture that I created on this guy. And same thing with this. And honestly, y'all, I was really proud of how these turned out. And then I just painted the seam at the bottom here black. But yeah, I think they look great. Honestly, super easy, really affordable. I got everything at Hobby Lobby. And then I just looked up to see where I could find an affordable version of these, the shape of a lampshade. And they just happened to have them at Target. I think it was like, they were having a sale for 15 bucks a piece per lampshade. And there was literally 2 left at the store. So I just picked them up. But you can make them look so good. And I'll show you what this guy looks like. I'm hoping you were able to see. I'm gonna turn down the brightness so that you can see all this yummy texture on this guy. It looks so good. Like, look at that. This is the inside, just for reference. I went all around the inside, and I didn't care that you can kind of see some black spots like that poking through. Anyways, that's what this guy looks like. So I think I actually am gonna do the dirt method. I just decided after seeing those lamps. It has been a few days since I last was working on my vase. I wanted to show y'all the colors that I'm gonna go in on now. So this is the point in the project where you can continue to establish more and more texture, but I'm like ready to add color. So I like to use spray paint. I think it's the easiest. You could also use just like any like bucket of paint and a brush, and you can use like a big sponge or something to create like a patchy texture. You can just paint it all in one coat. It's honestly whatever your preference is. I picked these all up at Lowe's or like Home Depot, wherever. This is a texture you can kind of see. Let's hope that picks up. It's kind of like it says textured raw clay. It kind of looks like a sandy color texture. This one is matte clamshell because I don't want anything glossy. This is kind of like a matte stone alabaster type color. It's like an ivory almost. And then this one, this is the color. It's kind of like a slate brown almost. I'm gonna try, I have just like a random bowl, is that you can actually go outside. I know this sounds kind of out there, but go into the backyard and grab yourself some dirt and literally get some dirt and mix it with some paint or some sort of like sealant liquid or something so that it's malleable and kind of a paste, and literally just like paste around your vessel. It adds color, it adds texture, it gives it kind of like a patinaed antique vibe. It looks like it's lived in, it's kind of dirty, it's got some depth and life, and like it's lived a long life, and that's what you want. So let me actually look up I have an inspiration picture that I have been wanting to recreate for this piece. So I'm gonna reference that real quick before I dive into all the coloring. I just wanted to show you before I start the dirt method kind of what you're looking for. So I chose some soil that was a bit lighter in color. I filtered out all the bugs and all the big rocks and all the crap out there. So you do just like want this nice smaller grain. So I'm gonna take y'all outside. We're gonna do this. I am going to mix in a little bit of paint that I've just, random paint that I've got on hand, and we'll get started. Okay, by the way, this is literally what I'm using. It's just acrylic paint because I have this on hand. Okay, note to self. I need to remember to buy some gloves because here I am literally mixing this shit with my hands. Also, it's cracking me up. It smells like someone's lighting it up out here. One of the neighbors. It's probably not the best idea that I'm literally sitting here doing this in a dress and slippers, but you know what is. Here it is so far after that layer of dirt. Did all the inside rim. Yeah. I think it looks good so far. This is my remnant of dirt over there. But yeah, so far so good. I decided to bring out the color since everything is basically dried. I'm also going to use this kind of like stone gray. So, let's see how this goes. I also wet a clean sponge so I can kind of just dab around with the paint if it sprays on too thick and I want to thin it out a bit. See, like that. You can kind of just like pat it out, if that makes sense. I try to go a little bit lighter handed and like farther away, just because I don't want it to like spray really heavily in one spot. Like that. Which, it's like Bob Ross, you know, like happy little dabs. Darker in certain light, it looks more brown in certain light. Some sides are lighter. It just looks like it's lived a long life. All you've got to do to seal it is spray some of this stuff all the way around. It'll have a shiny sheen, but then it'll definitely dry matte so that none of your soil that you've gotten on there or dirt or anything will come off. Like I'm so obsessed when this is all done. But if you can visualize this with the fun plant inside and some moss around the base, I think it's gonna look so good. You know, and it just looks like it's just got, I know it sounds weird, but it just looks like it's got so much grime in the best possible way. Oh, I'm so excited. It turned out so good. Like, look at that. Just like that. That looks awesome. I love all the texture. It just looks and feels alive to me, you know? Okay, this is the next day. Y'all, I feel like every time I pick up the camera doing this DIY, every day has something different it brings with it. So I just got home from the gym. I went to Hobby Lobby real quick and just picked up some moss so I can put the pot filling stuff back in it. I can put it all together and show you the finished product finally. But I couldn't help but come on here and just say, you know, I had this very, I guess, unrealistic expectation of how this video would go, and that every portion of this, every time I picked up the camera to film different parts of this DIY, would just be so perfect and seamless and I guess easy. And obviously that is not the reality of life. And today at work was just a hot mess. I almost went and picked up a bottle of wine after at the gym, but I'm really trying to stick to my routine. I'm trying to stay consistent with my eating. I almost didn't go to the gym, but this morning I last minute threw some clothes in a gym bag. I've just been feeling super anxious and overwhelmed today, literally all day long. So that was not fun. I finally got to the gym and I just had myself a cry in the car because I just felt all these emotions that I really needed to get out. And then I did some praying and I talked to Jesus and I was like, we need to pull this together. And I just felt the need to share that. You didn't know that when you clicked on this video, not only were you getting a DIY, but you were also getting a therapy session. Or maybe I am, I don't know. Maybe it's just the older I get, the more I'm like, I need to just acknowledge how I'm feeling and just let those emotions out or whatever it is out, and just accept the fact that I am uncomfortable or, I don't know, feeling anxious, whatever the situation is. And then do whatever I need to do to let it out of my system. Maybe say a prayer, talk to Hunter, whatever it is. And then I can like properly move on if I let things go. So if you're in a similar boat, maybe I recommend trying that, because I feel so much better. As soon as I did all that, I had all this, I don't know, this little well of motivation and self-discipline to go into the gym. I'm trying really hard in this season to be really consistent in my life, as well as like having self-discipline and showing up for myself in different ways in different areas of my life. And I feel like self-discipline has a lot of, I think, just like a naturally negative connotation to it, and that it's like a lot of pressure, or it sounds very aggressive. Like it feels naturally like a very aggressive thing to me just to hear self-discipline because of the word discipline. But I think there can be so much freedom in finding self-discipline and creating like a morning routine or an evening routine, or trying to go to bed on time so that you can wake up early and have a more productive day, and sticking to a routine, especially when your life feels like you're out of control and you can't grapple anything and everything's just like crazy and you're just overwhelmed. I think sticking with your routine that you've already had in place really helps you navigate through feeling overwhelmed and all the emotions that come with that. But then again, you never know, you need a break sometimes, so do that too. But anyways, after all that, we're gonna finish this project, I promise. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Let me know if you like this, or if that little spiel I had resonated with you at all. I would just show you. I have filled it up with just a bunch of scrap cardboard, literally, that this thing came in. And I'm gonna put some bow wrap over there and then the moss down, just so you know. Okay. I think I just broke that.
You broke it.
Hey babe, come look. What do you think?
I like it.
You do?
Yeah, where are you going to put it?
I'm going to leave it in the corner.
Oh, okay.
But look, I finally finished it. It's so cute. Y'all, I've had this project on the back burner for so long. I'm so proud of how this looks. Like that. It literally looks like something you'd buy at Restoration Hardware. I'm so proud of this. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, click that like button, hit subscribe to keep up with videos as I post them. And I will see you in the next one. Let me know in the comments down below if you end up trying this DIY out, or like refinishing a lamp or something like that. Let me know. I'd love to see your feedback. If you have any tweaks or something that you think I should do, so open to it. Love hearing from you guys. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.